You just said it, dude. You just wrote it. You think we forgot 3 sentences later that that's what you were talking about? Donald Trump's case before the United States Supreme Court against his absolutely unconstitutional, illegal power grab where he tried to amend the Constitution through executive order. He tried to repeal the 14th Amendment through executive order like an idiot. And Republicans are here for it. Of course they're here for it. They want to give the dear leader all of the power that they can possibly give him. He is freaking out because the case isn't going well. He lost his shit, absolutely lost it on Truth Social, and I'm going to share that with you. Then we're going to read the 14th Amendment, and then I'm going to share with you one little segment from the arguments yesterday before the Supreme Court where Elena Kagan, I think it was Elena Kagan, maybe it was Sonia Sotomayor. I think it was Sonia Sotomayor now that I'm thinking of the voice. Just decimated, gave 4 instances in which Donald Trump and this administration is violating the Constitution of the United States. And it's not just the liberal justices. There's only 3 of them, but there are more Supreme Court justices who are poking holes in this, knowing because it is just flagrantly, obviously unconstitutional. Here was Donald Trump's post on Truth Social. Big case today in the United States Supreme Court. Birthright citizenship was not meant for people taking vacations to become permanent citizens of the United States of America and bringing their families with them, all the time laughing at the suckers that we are. Tell me again how Donald Trump didn't call veterans, war fighters, patriots who were fighting fascism in World War II. Tell me again how that's not even something he says. He never says suckers and losers. That's not something that would come out of his mouth, except when it comes out of his mouth all the time. The United States of America is the only country in the world that does this. For what reason? Nobody knows, but the drug cartels love it. Oh, now it's drug cartels love it. Yeah, that's gonna make everybody believe it. We are, for the sake of being politically correct, a stupid country. But in actuality, this is the exact opposite of being politically correct, and it is yet another point that leads to the dysfunction of America. Birthright citizenship is about the babies of slaves. As conclusive proof, the Civil War ended in 1865. Conclusive proof. I don't. Listen, Donald, bring it in, Mr. President. I don't think you know what conclusive proof is, you dolt. You demented bag of garbage. All right. Let me find my spot. As conclusive proof, the Civil War ended in 1865. The bill went to Congress less than a year later in 1866 and was passed shortly after that. It had nothing to do with illegal immigration for people wanting to scam our country from all parts of the world, which they have done for many years. It had to do with Civil War results and the babies of slaves who our politicians felt correctly needed protection. Please explain this to the Supreme Court of the United States. Again, remember the Civil War. Again. I don't think I'd read the whole thing. Again, the Civil War. Remember, the Civil War ended in 1865, and this bill goes to and the bill. You just said it, dude. You just wrote it. You think we forgot 3 sentences later that that's what you were talking about? Not everybody has the man, woman, TV, camera.
Woman, man, camera, TV.
Not everybody has the cognitive difficulty that you have, Donald Trump. We remember the sentence from 2 sentences ago. And again, remember, the Civil War ended in 1865 and the bill goes to Congress in 1866. We didn't have people pouring into our country from all over South America and the rest of the world. It wasn't even a subject. What we had were the babies of slaves in all capital letters. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Good luck with this very important case. God bless the USA, he says. The 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution is very, very clear. It doesn't take a legal scholar to understand it. It's not wrapped up in a bunch of legalese. This is it. Section 1. all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of laws. There's a whole bunch of really, really good stuff in this amendment, in this very short paragraph. Nope, all persons have a right to due process. All persons born in or naturalized to the United States are citizens. All persons, all. It doesn't say babies of slaves are citizens. It says all persons. It's very, very easy. So easy that John Sauer, Donald Trump's personal criminal attorney, defended him in his criminal cases. A case he lost, by the way. He's a loser lawyer, is now the Solicitor General of the United States of America, who is like the chief arguer before the Supreme Court representing the government. And he, with his Robert F. Kennedy Jr. gargling molten glass voice, talked with one of the Supreme Court justices. Again, I think it was Sonia Sotomayor. I don't think it was Elena Kagan. But here is this. Here is her absolutely just disemboweling this loser lawyer who just happens to be the Solicitor General for the United States, making arguments. And she's telling him, you're bringing a loser case, bro. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, obviously. But listen to this very short moment, and you tell me what you think.
Rule 23 is the modern analog of a bill of peace. We have something very different here.
No, we don't, because the argument here is that the president is violating not just one, but by my count, 4 established Supreme Court precedents. We have the one ARC case where we said fealty to a foreign sovereign doesn't defeat your entitlement, your parents' fealty to a foreign sovereign, doesn't defeat your entitlement to citizenship as a child. We have another case where we said that even if your parents are here illegally, if you're born here, you're a citizen. We have yet another case that says even if your parents came here and were stopped at the border, but you were born in our territory, you're still a citizen. And we have another case that says even if your parents secured citizenship illegally, you're still a citizen. So as far as I see it, this order violates 4 Supreme Court precedents.
Yeah,
and you are claiming that not just the Supreme Court, that both the Supreme Court and no lower court can stop an executive from universally from violating those holdings by this court.
We are not claiming that because we're conceding that there could be an appropriate case.
Only a class, only
Could
by
I
a class.
Could I hear the rest of his answer?
A Rule 23 class action. And then the more fundamental point as to all those Supreme Court decisions you referred to.
So what do we do temporarily?
Temporarily, the court may issue, the lower courts may issue injunctions that remediate the injuries to the plaintiffs that appear before them. Lower courts, in appropriate cases, may certify class action.
So when a new president orders that because there's so much gun violence going on in the country, and he comes in and he says, I have the right to take away the guns from everyone, then and he sends out the military to seize everyone's guns. We and the courts have to sit back and wait until every named plaintiff or every plaintiff whose gun is taken comes into court.
In appropriate cases, courts have certified class actions on an emergency basis. We found at least 4 cases in recent years where that was done. But more fundamentally, We profoundly disagree with the characterization of the merits. This is now fully briefed in the Ninth Circuit in case number 25-807, where we describe how that characterization of the holding of Wong Kim Ark and the other decisions is profoundly incorrect.
And it was Sonia Sotomayor. Look, this is embarrassing. This is so emblematic of the situation with Donald Trump and his supporters, people who work for him, that he sends them out to defend indefensible things that are guaranteed to be shut down. That this case has been visited upon multiple circuits in the United States federal court system, and it's rejected. It finally makes its way to the Supreme Court, and it looks like it's going to be shut down. It wasn't just the liberals. Brett Kavanaugh was asking pointed questions, tough questions. Amy Coney Barrett was coming to the defense of the three liberals on the court. It's not the only people that I expect will rule for MAGA, for Donald Trump, because they want him to be a king, are Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito. Maybe Neil Gorsuch, but I don't think so. I think even Brett Kavanaugh is going to, I mean, I'm making predictions here. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. But it seems to me that they're going to deal another blow because of the plain, clear language of the Constitution of the United States. And that moment when she talked about, so the next president that comes in can say, because of all the gun violence, I have the right to just do all this. And then there will be a deluge of cases brought before the Supreme Court. Thousands and thousands, if not millions of people individually would have to bring their cases. That's kind of what they're arguing here because they want to gum up the works. Anyway, it's not looking good for Donald Trump in this case. Luckily, they're so brazen in their attempt to overthrow the government and violate the Constitution of the United States and make Donald Trump a king that even these whack jobs in the Supreme Court have to say something and stand in the way of it. So we'll see. I would appreciate your opinion. I invite you to this conversation. You can comment below in the comment section. Tell me how wrong or right I am. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I'll see you next time. I appreciate you very much. I'll be back in the studio next week, back in Washington, D.C. My time in Boise has been good. I talked to some good people, some things in the works. I hope you join me for that too. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.